Like, so you had that feature in Action Bike, like the track in the woods. Do you remember how that came about?
Vaguely. So I remember, I mean, that was, after going to Westway and after going to a couple of BMX tracks in Tuleka, I realized that like I wasn't interested in racing at all. But I was interested in jumping and dirt jumps. And so we just started building jumps, and trying to like mimic the jumps we'd seen elsewhere. So we built a bunch of dirt jumps, and then eventually, I think from Tuleka and then even maybe South Bank influence, we built like a not a quarter pipe really, but just like a flat bank to do kick turns on. So we'd like jump, and then kick turn and go back and jump the other way. And then that kick turn ramp eventually got steeper and steeper, with more and more of a transition on it as we got closer to the top of it. And I can't remember who it was, if it was Tim Leighton Boyce or somebody from BMX Action Bike came to the track and was like standing there watching us, and like we were like, oh, what's going on here? Like we're in trouble, Who's this older guy watching us BMX? And there was probably like 5 or 6 of us there that day, and he said, hey, yeah, we want to come back and, take some pictures of you guys riding. And, we want to kind of feature the BMX track, which is what it was. And so I was like, yeah, great, man. And I can't remember. We must have exchanged numbers at some point or something because we organized a date. And I remember like something like a week before Tim came down, we actually really built the quarter pipe up because we were starting to air on it at that point. That was early 83, I think. And someone came and just destroyed it, pulled it down. I don't know who it was. And I don't know if they knew what was going on and they like the word had spread, or they were jealous, or if it was just like a random act of destruction. Yeah. But we had to quickly rebuild it. And actually, when we rebuilt it, we made, instead of being like sort of like a door and then something at the top, we actually like made a little bit more of a transition, so it had almost vert on it. I mean, it wasn't really vert. We had it was much steeper. And I remember like the day that Tim showed up, we were just starting to air, and I remember actually getting out the top of it because I was like, I better do something. This guy's got a camera, I better do something impressive. And so that's probably the first time I really started airing like out the top, of a vert quarter pipe.
Any ramp, So how did you build? Like you built the jumps with shovels and stuff, I take it, yeah.
Just shovels, yeah. I mean, and we would get anything like like there was a fridge, or some tires, or some
tires are still there.
Throw them in there because that saved us a lot of digging, because that that London soil, man, that was it clay? It's pretty heavy, juicy. And even prior to the BMX park, I think there was a time when there was a dustman strike, and they had like 20 feet of just rubbish piled up. And then they eventually moved that. And I'm not sure when that was, but I remember it just left like the place was just like it was just rocks and glass, and we had to clear that out. And it took months. In fact, there's probably still glass there from that whole thing. And we'd clear it out, and then we built the jumps back again. But yeah, it was a lot of work. But there was bits and pieces left around. We just threw it together, and anything to create a transition and save us some digging, and then we throw dirt on it.
And what about the quarter pipe? How did you just freestyle like a frame for a quarter pipe? Like where'd you get the wood and stuff?
God, mostly like the other guys in your podcast, we nicked
borrowed,
borrowed wood. Well, down below is the old train station, which is abandoned, and they were always doing something down there, building a fence or something. And so we'd go down there at night and borrow the wood. There was actually a builder's yard too on the way to Muswell Hill on the right hand side. It might even still be there. And I remember my mate, some of my dodgier mates said, there's a back entrance and we can get in there and we can get some plywood. So we went in there and took the plywood and just built whatever we could. And that place actually became a really good source of wood for many years without anybody knowing about it. We got away with it. But yeah, basically just nicked it, threw it together. In fact, fast forward when we built the first quarter pipe or half pipe with coping, the coping itself wasn't regular coping. It was like the telegraph poles had this.
Yeah, that's it. Telecom coping.
Yeah, we just pull it out.
Yeah.
But it was perfect.
Yeah. They used
it. Yeah.
They used it on Chingford.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Yeah. They used something on Chingford once.
Yeah. Paul helped me build. My first half pipe. He helped me build that, and anyway, we'll get into that later.